Hey everybody, I have already done a video on The Hole in the Oak. I hope you watched that one. A fantastic adventure for old school essentials, which is of course right there, the classic version of it. And in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Incandescent Grottoes. I'll be spoiling, of course. I'll have a link down in the description if you want to pick it up. Over on Exalted Funerals website or on ttrpg if you just want to pick up the PDF version of it. So let's slide those over right there. Let's take a look at this adventure here. It is got a comical kind of cover here. Kind of matches a little bit the way that the Hole in the Oak is, and I think it's kind of funny because I like the style of art in it. It kind of goes with some of the fantastical elements that are in it, but it's kind of deceiving because this is a very deadly adventure. I almost think it's more deadly than this. I'm almost certain it is more deadly than that adventure right there. So let's go through it here. Gavin Norman has just done another just absolute bang-up job on this. So it says, a bubbling stream cascades into a hole in the earth, leading to a series of underground watercourses and scintillating grottos. Adventurers who delve within may discover odd mosses, fungi, a ruined temple complex, and the lair of a crystal-eating dream dragon, in a classic dungeon adventure for characters of first to second level. Pretty much a dungeon crawl. Requires old school essentials, classic fantasy, or advanced fantasy. And there's so much more going on in this one. I find it to be much more intricate and complex a little bit than The Hole in the Oak. It is got, I think, a lot more encounters and stuff in it. And it's got a little bit, it's got some, I would say, some interesting rooms, especially down here in this right corner. But so we've got two levels here, okay? We've got level 1 here on this end page here, these end pages, and then we've got level 2 right here. And that's very helpful. Now, the first thing, a little bit of help I'm going to give you is you need to wrap your head around the way that the dungeon works, the way that it literally flows when it comes through the water. So this is going to be outside on our normal ground. You have this river coming down through here, and the waterfall is going to go down into this hole. There is a little staired walkway that goes down, and then that is actually going to correlate to over here. This is where the waterfall falls down into, and it pulls up here, and there's your walkway right there. Now, right off the bat, you could swim across if you wanted to go over here, or you can go this way here. I think most people are probably going to go this way, but the thing to know here is that this actually, there is a hole, and if you swim down, it'll lead you to level 2. I think that's very clever. Another way to get down there is in number 26, and on the other side is 36 of this chasm right here. It's going to take you down to 54. And I really like how they've got these in white, showing you that's going to be on this second level. So it's quite clever. There are other ways to get down there too, and that's going to be here these steps and here these steps as well. So if we look at number 54, that's going to get us so that we're going to be right here, and this is where the two sides are. It says 26 and 36 going up to where, again, this area is right here. I just think it's very clever, but you need to kind of understand how that works. The water is flowing from west to east on this second level here, so that's something you need to keep up with. And again, we've got just the great stuff of locked doors, stuck doors this time, secret doors, monsters, and area numbers. I really enjoy the way that this works. The way that they've got this, the quickness of how each of the different room descriptions are. And so what you've got here is just a little bit of a history, and there's not much to it, obviously. It currently lacks a overall owner, but the Cult of the Faceless Lord used to be in this place. They were a demon-worshipping cult's abandoned temple and facilities. The cult leader was a chaotic magic user communing with the Faceless Lord, demon prince of oozes and slimes, and that's definitely going to play a big deal in this adventure. Oozes and slimes are a bunch. Eventually, his lust for power led him to betray his demonic master. The Faceless Lord's vengeance was swift and brutal, bringing about the cult's complete destruction. There are some other factions in there. Again, we've got the return of troglodytes. If you've watched the video of Hole in the Oak, you've got this rogue prismist, and it's part of the Imperial Prismists, their most trusted servants of the Emperor. It's a woman who has fled the ranks of them, and she's presently hiding in the grottos conducting research. There is a dream dragon, the Ooze cult, remnants of the cult, guardians and summoned monstrosities, and then there is a necromancer, a magic user using the crypts for his nefarious research, but who does not dwell within. It tells you a little bit about the relationships about them. such as like the Dream Dragon detests the Troglodytes. The Troglodytes fear the dragon. The Ooze Cult is unaware of the other faction. So you've got that again. How monsters are going to react to you. There's a bunch of crystals, as you can see from the cover, in these grottos, and it's going to tell you what you need to do, the tools and the time, and how much gold they're going to yield you for that time of you extracting them. It's going to tell you about that underground river. You need to get that under control, how it comes with swimming in it or boating in it. Again, we've got rumors. It's going to let you know all the different treasure that's in all the different areas on the different levels, so that's very helpful. And the total treasure, so you can see it gets quite up there. And it says that on the back, it says first to second level, and man, I can't help but think that, going into this second level is going to be so much better. If you could probably go into this third or fourth because of some of the stuff you're going to face. So we've got random happenings. Again, 1/6 chance. And there's going to be some strange stuff that's going to happen, much like the hole in the oak. A rushing gust of wind accompanied by ghostly voices moaning, "Save us from the faceless one." Or you're going to hear like a damp patch on the wall coalesces briefly into a face whispering, "Disillusion." So there's a bunch of kind of strange things that happen to you, and then straight up things that are going to try to probably kill you. Kobolds, troglodytes, there's some Imperial soldiers, a carcass crawler. There is a necromancer and some guards. They're heading towards a certain area, giant centipedes and so on. And then it's going to have, there's different ones obviously for the second level, and it kind of keeps that same thing going. There is a couple other things like a tentacled shadow masses are going to attack you, or giant mutant frogs, because you're more down in kind of that river area there. So, and there it's going to start off. And again, I just love the fact that it's going to show you these little, these little cutout sections of the map to help you along. It's got that great layout that I really enjoy, and a viewer said that they didn't enjoy that, and it was kind of one of those things where I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a different opinion, and I can understand that, though, because sometimes it is so precisely just quick, one sentence done, one or two sentences. You might want a little bit more than that. You really have to kind of just read it and then embellish upon it. And you can't just sit there and say, oh, the natural cavern is this, the rough stone stairway is this. You need to try to make it flow where another adventure would write that all out. And I could see how that would be difficult or different for people. Again, we've got stuff like northeast, swimming, if you're going to swim in it and stuff like that. So I like the way that it breaks up actions and says, if you do this, that happens. Looking into the pool is going to do this. So we're going to have a lot of crystals. Right off the bat, we've got some monkeys, which is fun. Always like manchichis, so that's cool. And it's going to be a lot of stuff of like strange crystals, strange mushrooms. They could do some weird things to you, especially the mushrooms if you decide to eat them. They may have certain different flavors. The crystals throughout this adventure, you've got ones that glow, ones that have faces in them that move and stuff like that. It's just kind of very abstract and kind of different. All around. It really does have a fantastical feel to it. I'm not going to break down every single place. You're going to have things like maybe here there's some kobolds, or there's going to be a lot of, like, especially if you go down this path that they want to, that it lays out for you. This area down here has got these rooms, and you're going to be dealing with a lot of the slimes, the squirms, the oozes, and stuff like that. Really kind of interesting rooms. And the thing that Gavin does so well is that he does bizarre, but not too bizarre. It's an oddity. It's an oddity where, like, the whole room, all of a sudden you open up a door, it just floods the whole this whole area here, the hallway, with slime. It's going to do damage to you. Then the next room you might walk into, there might be some slime and it's got stuff in it. You can try to get it out of it, but it's going to do damage to you. So it's kind of like you're interacting with all sorts of different types of slime. Or squirms, which I like that. That's pretty cool. You can have some carcass crawler larvae, that's interesting as well. You're gonna have to watch out for those. And there's just some things left behind that are gonna kind of be little tidbits of, hey, this is kind of what happened before. If you see a skull here, maybe that's gonna mean that something's gonna happen. I have a feeling that your adventurers in your party, as you're running this, they're going to start to get really the kind of the heebie-jeebies and really start hitting stuff with sticks and not knowing, because when you deal with slime and stuff that you don't know how to kill maybe, and there is a good bit of traps in this, I have a feeling that they're going to start really taking their time, being fairly meticulous about watching out for opening up doors and things like that. But like this room number 11 here, it's just got a really cool vibe. This it's got this cool like floor that's got a bunch of like swirly lines on it. He's got a really good sense of describing the way these rooms are, even though it's a really small, small area to describe it. Park mark walls. The ceiling is 12 feet. There's a purple tiled floor here with swirling patterns. There's dark wood doors. They're solid with cast iron bands. It quickly gives you what you need. And then you got these two jellied skeletons. There will be some monsters that you don't necessarily have to immediately kill. You could, maybe you can do something when you're running them to really hold back your players if they're ones for really killing something that doesn't look like it's normal. And they're coated. They're black skeletons coated in this. One of them's in pink jelly and one of them's in like this lime green jelly. They've got necklaces around their necks. They'll actually try to talk to you. They have like slimy whispers and evil cackles. They're really neat, but they have some stuff that's really nasty. Like they hit you with a touch hit, they're going to do acid damage to you. Again, I find that some of the creatures in here are just absolutely brutal. They're going to wreck your crew every once in a while. You're going to come across something that's really going to probably really get you. Again, I mean, just looking here, we've got these larvae, we've got skeletons, we've got slime, we've got this ooze demon I'm about to show you. We've got bubbles that are going to attack you, like magical bubbles. This ooze demon is pretty cool, pretty nasty looking piece of art there. But it's got mental powers and mind control, thermokinesis. You're going to be able to, it's kind of held in like a magical cage that you could unfortunately try to get out, unfortunately break it out. Well, that's not good. It can speak in like a gurgling common, a demonic tongue. So it's just a really neat encounter. This whole section here is a lot of being all of a sudden like, wow, we are in a really weird place with a lot of nasty slime. And then when you get into this area here, you're going to get into like some almost like, you've got a control room and jail tanks and teleport discs, floating bubbles. These different tanks have got different things in them. They're going to give you a little bit of hint of what's going to happen should you go inside the tank or the tank busts or however you interact with it. There's levers, there's force fields. It's a real kind of strange advanced magical area here. And it just shows you how quickly in these maps things can kind of change in their scope and their theme, which is really cool. You're going to have a bunch of statues. They're going to do different things. You see here limbs, skull, and eyes. They're going to do some different stuff to you as well. There's going to be a lot of like writing on the walls here and there that you're going to have to try to figure out maybe what that means. It's going to maybe give your players a little bit of a head scratching thing like, what exactly does that mean? Or plinths or doors have stuff like the most elevated one, or it's going to have stuff that's like it's alluding to something that's kind of interesting. But you're not exactly sure. It may give you a little bit the heebie-jeebies, but one thing that's really cool is this eyes statue. There's a statue of eyes on a black marble plinth, and there are tiny stone figures about 1 inch tall in the southeast corner. And it's going to tell you about all of those. And it's going to be stuff like 2 identical women in wizard robes with prism-top staves, 5 kobolds with spears and nets, 1 ogre. There's a whole bunch of them, and what's going to happen is as they're looking at the figures, they're going to see themselves they're going to see figure representations of them show up as well. It's kind of like whatever the statue sees, it creates a little figure of that person. And it's very creative. And that's the thing about these 2 adventures. There's just a lot of really neat creative stuff. And they're almost perfect dungeon crawlers for what they're doing. If you don't need a big, deep story with a lot of NPCs doing stuff, you can interact with the ones that are here. There's definitely those. But if you just want a good dungeon crawl that's got a lot of kind of strangeness, changing of environments, changing of creatures, a lot of cool treasure, and monsters that are different, and then even some new monsters that show up here and there, you're going to find it within these adventures. There's this old temple here. It's going to have some interesting stuff too. There's going to be a gibbering mouther right here. That's going to be a really nasty kind of encounter because they're pretty nasty overall. But some neat stuff, just some hints of stuff like a body on the floor that's got it's got an arrow in its back, and you're gonna be like, it looks like it was running away from this room we're about to go into, and something shot it in the back. So a lot of neat stuff like that kind of is gonna be interesting to your players to be like, we got kind of a little bit of a investigative aspect to some of these rooms and just these areas in general. And then as we head up to kind of like the northwest part of it, we're going to have nasty troglodyte areas here. They're overall unpleasant. Still, there's going to be some treasure to have from them, and that's going to be pretty cool. Then it says here, like Battle of Supremacy, there are some troglodytes battling over the future of what's going to happen with them. This is one of the characters right here. They've got some pretty funny names too. One's like Bloody Mary, Slank Pitter. And they've got, it's just funny. Then there's one, Waggle, Fraggle. He's having some fun with it, and I dig it. And then, like I said, if you want to go down here, if you want to try to get some rope and stuff, tie it up and go down here after you've fought these terrible frogs they're going to crawl up the side, these giant mutant frogs, you can go down as you're going to end up on that second level. So there's different ways to get down to that second level. And again, if you play this multiple times, you're going to get, just different things happen based off how they get to that next level. I love the name Slug Babies. They're pretty nasty though. They're white. They're slugs, 1 foot slugs with human faces, like demented babies with retractable eye tentacles. So just some real kind of nasty looking things in this. There's a lot of acid. There's a lot of poison, as you can see right here and here. A collapsing tomb. There is like this coffer corpse, which is going to be kind of like a mummified corpse with glowing green eyes. It's going to attack you. There are some creatures in here that they have mundane, they're immune to mundane weapons. You're going to need to have magical weapons. And for a first and second level adventure, that could be tough. So, it's just, it really straddles that line between being a real murder adventure where it's really going to kill your characters and just being right on that edge where you're going to be able to make it out. It's going to be a tough battle. But it's going to be rewarding at the end of the day. You're going to know it was a tough adventure and you got through it. These janitor zombies are funny. They're cleaning up these tombs down here. And again, it may be some people that they might not exactly attack you. They're waiting for instructions and they're cleaning the place out with brooms. But we know our players are probably going to destroy them. And then you've got some neat stuff like this fungal beach here. There's a nasty prismatic shade that's there. There's a lot of stuff that's on the walls. That's one thing that's kind of fun with these caverns, these grottos, is that you're going to have a lot of like strange fungus and these crystals growing off. It's going to give it just a cool aspect to it visually. There's the tomb of the ooze priestess here. Cool piece of art. She's the ooze white, and she's got 2 ooze whites with her. Going to be a real nasty battle here. She hates the living. She's vain, may listen to flattery relating to the ooze cult's former glories. She's bombastic when she speaks. So just cool stuff like that. But more than likely, it's going to be a pretty big battle, kind of one of the biggest ones there. Turtle bridge with the turtle underneath it. He's going to try to attack you as you go over the turtle. And then you're going to come to this fine lady right here. Her name is Marjoram Gryver. And she is this prismist and a very interesting character, an NPC that you're going to be able to interact with. She's doing a lot of experiments down here with these crystals. Her husband is actually trapped in this prism of life trapping that she has, and she wants to try to get him out. So it's a little bit of the continuing story there within it, and an NPC you can interact with. She set up some stuff that's going to hold back the nasty this dream dragon here who likes to munch on crystals, and he can't get past them. So this is going to be your boss battle right here. He can talk to you in kind of hissing and fuming way with a rudimentary common speech. He can't cast spells, which that's helpful, but he's got a nasty breath weapon that's going to be a sleep gas, and that you will get a save from that, save with versus breath, but it shows you his attack pattern. If he's sleeping, you might get a bonus to hit him, and he's got 20 hit points, so it's not unfeasible. He's not a massive nasty dragon, but still he's gonna put the hurt on your group, and it's just a really neat kind of ending towards it. Towards the end of this adventure here, as it finishes up with him. And there's also this thing called a dream. It's in essence it's kind of a weird, it says a humanoid shadow. It's lurking in the corner, and it's going to try to surprise, and it's going to drain wisdom from the person that it hits. So that's pretty nasty. And if your wisdom is reduced to 0, the victim's soul is lost in the dream world. So kind of interesting there. Now, expanding the dungeon, just the same kind of in the Hole in the Oak. It's got some really cool stuff here. It shows you how you can expand some areas here. The magical laboratories, it tells you which rooms you can expand on if you want to get more out of this adventure and do some of your own stuff. The same as the subterranean river, if you want to attach that to the Hole in the Oak, because this is actually going to flow down to where the Hole in the Oak is. And let's see if we can add those. We can put those together here, and you can kind of see that is going to be pretty much how it works. I don't know if you can see that 100%, but that's how it's going to flow. And I just think that's really neat. Then you've got a whole other adventure you can go to if you haven't done that. Or you can go upstream in Hole in the Oak and come up here. And you'll approach it from this area. So it's got a lot of different ways to get into it. You can also extend the crypts area as well. This area right here, this wall, you can make that a door. Maybe there's some steps that go down underneath this river, and you can expand these tombs here. So I really like the expansion that it has, that the options it gives you. It's got a wide variety of different types of creatures, really nasty ooze slimes, and just straight acid death. Save versus this or die. It's deadly. It's a very deadly adventure, but I think it's great. And it's one where I think you should start with the Hole in the Oak. In my opinion, somebody might think differently. Start with Hole in the Oak, go upstream after you're done with it, and check this out. Or what you can do is go back outside, kind of recuperate, get your gear, all the stuff you got from Hole in the Oak, and then approach it back from this normal dungeon entrance, and then you'll be like, oh, we're back. I see how these all attach together. If you want to kind of see it through the kind of entranceway passage. So there it is. Oh, there's also a doppelganger, and she's actually a doppelganger of this lady right here. So if you've somehow seen her first and then you see her again here, you'll kind of be like, that's kind of weird. But this doppelganger is going to try to murder her, and it's going to, of course, try to murder you. So, yeah, there it is. A really, really great adventure. I mean, these two together, I think, are just awesome. And all this, I mean, combined price, $30, and you're getting so many great rooms, so many cool puzzles, strange monsters, and just kind of strange things that you kind of interact with. Really well described, even in their short little paragraphs there. And just some really great imagination come to life in this awesome adventure. So there it is, the Incandescent Grottoes. As always, thank you for watching. And if you like this, let me know if you've played it, what you thought about it. I'd love to know what some of your adventures were in either of these two adventures. Let me know about it. That'd be really cool to talk about. So thanks a lot for watching, as always, and I'll see you next time.